When asked what is the best full-length downhill skateboarding edit ever, a lot of times people will give the answer Kings of the Mud. Since 2016, skaters continue to reference it as the best. Alex Amin started releasing videos on the Valhallas YouTube's channel in 2014, primarily using the dangerous follow filming method, and sponsoring exclusively non-racers gave a very core feeling to the brand. No one on the team was the objective best without competition, and they weren't going to be selling any boards to beginners, making downhill look as dangerous as it is. They were dedicated to making mountain bombing boards for people who bomb mountains. The Valhalla YouTube channel continuously changed as it shifted the brand identity from chopped up follow runs to meme humor to full-length videos like DGJF, and incorporating other video clips from the Holy Mountain and you guessed it. Combining these set the tone for Alex's biggest project, Kings of the Mud. Kings of the Mud features 12 skaters from the Valhalla team skating in 8 different countries. Which board is being used is stated under the skater when they are introduced, but that is the only evidence of marketing in the video. The rest of the marketing is in the editing and skating itself. I've spoken to many skaters who state that the skating holds up in Kings of the Mud to modern skating. However, this video doesn't showcase stand-up slides as long as Scott Mano, precision drifting like Diego Poncelet, Jesse Fabrizio's bag of tricks, or the bullet speed tucking of Max Caps. By the numbers, it doesn't stack up. Kings of the Mud hosts some very grimy downhill skating. It's full of mistakes, bad lines, wobbly stand-up slides, and edge-of-high-siding hookups. There's dry roads, wet roads, night runs, traffic runs, and skaters constantly pushing their comfort levels on roads that might even be a bit outside of their ability level. Some notable moments include Alexis Gosselin-Lebrecq's thigh slide in between the guardrail H-bars, Sho Ulat's Roman candle to boulder dodge, Sandre Salender's overall survival style, Felipe Marin navigating an extremely patchy racetrack, foot brakes and all, and Madison Crum's accidental one-footed toe side, to name a few. The tone of the skating is imperfect and risky. No leathers, full push, improvise when you need to. We know that skating pushed faster and farther is always something that we all want to see, but we forget that we also want to see risk. Watching a skater go 70 is always fun to see, but it's a lot more fun when it's their first time. Outside of skating, you very rarely see who these skaters are. Most of the team was never on another team, and if they were, there's very limited footage of them. There's very little B-roll shown from Valhalla altogether. Whether intentional or not, barely any Valhalla videos showcase B-roll of their riders. We can't see who's rich or who's poor, who's goofy or serious, and what other interests anyone has outside of skating. Everyone is a bit of a mystery. We're only shown the skating, the music, the boards, and the filming. This limits the image of the brand to just what is edited together. Alex Amin was a pioneer of the more controversial but dominant style of filming known as follow car filming. Following skaters at 5 to 10 feet with a car provides for some of the most accurate depictions of downhill skating while proving very dangerous. In Sho Ulat's Pro Model release video, Alex even includes the footage of him tapping Sho with the bumper. Many have criticized the promotion of this type of filming and for Alex's proximity to the riders. This is still the most popular way to film, and whether dangerous or not, it's here to stay. The follow filming in Kings of the Mud is done with an approximately 8 to 10 millimeter wide lens, sitting at a height of 1.5 feet to maybe about 2 feet. This is lower than the more standard 3-ish feet of today. It looks very fast at this height, but sacrifices the view of the surrounding environment. There are occasional panning and static corner shots, but follow filming dominates Kings of the Mud overall. While not mentioned as often, the style in which Alex edits may be just as influential as the filming. Clips are short and rapidly change. It's not common to watch a clip that is longer than 10 seconds in Kings of the Mud. Anything that isn't tension is just cut out. The pacing is fast and uncomfortable. One downside to this style is that it requires aggressive, defenseless skating. Most of the skaters abide by this, but there are a few moments where the editing and the skating don't have the same fast-paced attitude. There's only a few moments of B-roll in the video that ease the tension a bit, but they are so short and a bit out of place that they aren't really that effective. The one question I have about the video is the inclusion of subliminal messaging images during the part where Maggot Brain, the song, is played. Throughout this section, mostly shot in Canada, you'll routinely see brief images of nature, political figures, lizard people, and other things. Some of these seem to link themselves to conspiracy theories and cult-like behavior. This is the only section of Kings of the Mud that includes these images, which makes me think it's connected to the song, but I couldn't find the connection there. Maybe Alex intended on including more, but got tired of editing all these images together. It's probably very tiring. The images do add to the uncomfortable tone, and I wish they'd shown up a little bit more. I briefly discussed the song Maggot Brain by Funkadelic, but the music from Kings of the Mud is one of the most celebrated discussion points. The video uses a combination of psychedelic rock, hardcore, doom metal, post-rock, and jazz fusion. Music is broken up by lectures by Alan Watts and an audio clip from Twin Peaks' Fire Walk Within. Alex Amin seems to be a horror and experimental film fan from his usage of clips from other videos like in The Holy Mountain, the use of David Lynch audio, and the Black Dolphin video, which looks to be inspired by The Witch. One of my favorite parts of Kings of the Mud is when you hear the ominous voice from Fire Walk Within.
That you would slow down after a while or go faster and faster. Faster and faster. And for a long time you wouldn't feel anything. Then you'd burst into fire.
Set to static shots of nature, followed by Cooper Darkay bombing the Sierras with an onslaught of wind noise. It's creepy and unsettling and finishes with an almost jump scare. I'm a big fan of the music in Kings of the Mud. I think it's used effectively and without cliché. A minor gripe that I do have is when the Mexico footage begins, there's a song called I Set My Face to the Hillside by Tortoise. I'm not sure if it's intentional, but the song feels a little stereotypically Western with the harmonica and is a little too on the nose to be set in Mexico for my taste. Continuing to discuss my favorite parts of Kings of the Mud, going back to Cooper in the Sierras, I like that Cooper's skating and that permanently hunched posture makes him look like a little black cannonball. It's the only part in Kings of the Mud with no music, and the lack of music gives an unsettling feeling when combined with the rocky landscape and the great color correcting. It all feels like he's skating on, like, the moon or something. This color palette is also matched in Sondre Salander's Norwegian part. His clips are proper Norwegian, with a knit sweater, long blonde hair, black metal raging, and primal drums to match his survivalist style. His overdrifts and wobbles are tightrope skating the whole time. It's also one of the only times you see Alex driving in chase. Brett Chabatini's part is one of the only sections with longer clips and stationary shots. Combined with the soulful guitar solo, it seems like Alex is a big fan of Brett's skating. Brett manages to keep an extremely low-effort stand-up style while still being on the edge of control. He looks very casual, slide carving, but is still feet from clipping guardrails and high sides. The flowing smooth style is matched in the curves of the road he's skating, La Cathédrale. Definitely one of my favorite skaters to watch. Cooper's final run can't be avoided in conversation about Kings of the Mud. At the time, no one had ever seen somebody skating trafficked roads like this. Cooper carves through traffic at 40 plus, balancing keeping up with traffic but also slowing down enough to not run into anyone. Skating recklessly and a bit smugly passing cars in peak traffic feels a little childish, and I mean this in a good way. There's a real childlike energy in putting yourself in an uncontrollable environment like a highway. Skating mountains is dangerous enough without surrounding yourself with cars that are making their own decisions. As Cooper mini drifts and pump carves around traffic cones and work trucks, Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts by Funkadelic plays melancholic guitar riffs to cap the end of Kings of the Mud, giving us the message to choose the life you want. Inspire yourself. Your life is yours. It fits you like your skin. Free your mind.